welcome to Cafe Wish Podcast interview. And today we're going to be going over a topic of colorism. So today it's not going to be a hard interview. I want it to be more of a relaxed, because the topic, it's going to be a little bit already, someone would say divisive, someone would say countercultural, someone would say that this type of topic could be seen as a philosophy topic, if you will. A sociology topic. All right. So let's go without further ado. The topic of today is colorism. All right. And with that being said, there's going to be little sound bites of this interview that I want to have. It's going to be not really necessarily two parts, but we're going to be talking about two things within colorism. One thing would be witchcraft, right? When we think about witchcraft, what do we mean by that? And we can look at the look at the dictionary definition of what witchcraft is. And then also we're going to be looking at legality and morality and when they meet. And I have two poems that I want to read on the segment topics of witchcraft and a segment topic of legality and morality when they meet. All right, so do you want me to look up the definition for colorism, or do you want to kind of... Oh, okay.
So that the listeners can also know.
Okay. Yeah. Right on. I like that. All right. So the definition is coming from... I think I want to choose... There's different definitions here. This is coming from the Oxford Review. All right? The Oxford Review, oxford-review.com. Okay? Colorism, according to Oxford Review, refers to the social hierarchy that privileges individuals with lighter skin tones over those with darker skin tones. I'll read that again. Colorism refers to the social hierarchy that privileges individuals with lighter skin tones over those with darker skin tones. And it also continues to say, even within the same racial or ethnic group. All right. So with that definition of colorism, what are the ideas that come to mind when we hear that?
I think maybe it's like it surrounds in like discrimination.
Okay.
Because it creates like separation between people with color and people of like lighter complexion. So it creates division, the one with more privilege and the one with less privilege, the one who discriminates and the one who gets discriminated.
Okay. And let's talk about, so we talk about the idea of it, right? Now let's talk about the emotional idea. So we're talking about the ideals of colorism, right? The things, the ideas that come to mind. And these ideals turn to ideologies, right? Not our ideas, but somebody somewhere thought about these things and made them an idea, right? They contemplated. Oh, I have an idea, and then they came up with mathematical equations. What do I mean by that? Well, language is a mathematical equation, right? Knowing what to say, how to say it, it's all a science. And science needs metrics, and metrics deals with mathematics.
Yeah.
So these is the ideals of the idea, in my opinion. Okay, so what's the emotional idea of colorism to you?
What do you mean by
So,
emotion?
if someone is of a lighter skin tone,
Yeah.
what is their emotional experience that they may have living in a society that favors their skin tone?
Like what's like?
If we can just imagine, right? So you can imagine probably what a darker skinned person emotionally feels. All right, I don't want to take that approach first. I want to take the approach of what would a lighter skinned person feel.
Well, here in the Philippines, we always praise people with lighter complexion.
Mm-hmm.
We deem them as the most beautiful. Yeah, it's like we also see them as someone who is rich. I think when we growing up, when we see people with whiter skin, we think them as cleaner, more beautiful, more rich than people who have like darker complexion. I think they're like the main standards here in the Philippines to be whiter.
Okay. So what's the emotional appeal?
In me growing up, I think if I put myself in their position, well, I will feel very proud if I have that tone.
Okay.
I think it will give me like an advantage. Maybe some peace of mind thinking that the people around me think highly of me.
All right. I think that's a fair assessment. Now let's look at the opposite of this colorism spectrum.
Yeah.
What ideas of emotional experiences would a darker skinned person
Well, here in the Philippines,
experience?
I feel like I would feel like it's very unfair because we have like Southeast Asian physics. We are like tanned. We have kind of darker skin. We have like Asian facial features, and to compare that to white standard is kind of unfair because it's hard to live to that beauty standard when you don't fit into that. So growing up with like these Asian features, it's very hard, and it's kind of sad because you always compare yourself to people with lighter complexion. Yeah.
So, going back to the ideals, when someone thought about, let me think about this concept of what it means to be lighter skin, what it means to be darker skin. And they conceive these things, right? So when you're trying to think of a pattern, when you're trying to think of an ideal mathematically, especially something of social engineering persuasion, you have to think about the pros, the cons, and you have to outweigh what these things would be in real time, and then you have to test those things, right, to see what your hypothesis will yield. in real time. So you do experiments. So with that being said, also, someone thought about these things and conceived what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's kind of heavy, right? I just want to let that breathe for a second.
Yeah.
Someone intentionally sat back, or a group of people intentionally said, I'm going to create this social phenomenon, this social engineering system to implement in societies or any given society. But they already went through the numbers, the mathematics, the science. Just to do all that, isn't that something
Yeah.
someone would view as crazy?
Yeah. Especially if you think about it, they also capitalize on that.
And making money,
Yeah.
capitalizing on it,
Yeah.
capitalism
Yeah.
is a part of the equation.
True.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that too. So all of this is something, so when we live our day to day, when I'm talking about we as people, the everyday person, they don't get to, I'm telling you, that my idea or my opinion, this is not probably a fact for some, but